underlying history. Made by Brett. Show my boys some love. Let's get into the
An
video.
entire anime's legacy can be determined by the ending of the series. A bad ending can leave fans extremely disappointed or grasping at straws, swearing that everything in the final episode is actually pointing towards a secret ninth episode. I'm looking at you, Stranger Things fans.
What the hell's wrong with you?
But on the flip side, a great ending can make a great series even better and leave the fans satisfied even though one of their favorite series is coming to an end. Now, one thing I have noticed is that it is impossible to please fans. No ending is a good ending according to fans. So that brings me to the topic of this video, which is the ending of one of the hottest anime out currently, which is Oshi No Ko. Oshi No Ko made a splash in the anime community with the 1.5 hour long first episode, but even after that lost a ton of viewers for reasons just unknown. But the manga finally came to an end after 4 years in
People gonna know the greatness. Too much greatness for you know me.
November of 2024, and the ending left fans conflicted. So was this ending really a terrible conclusion for such a highly acclaimed series? Or was it actually a good close to the manga about the dark side of Japanese entertainment? Just a disclaimer, there will be spoilers in this video. I mean, obviously I'm talking about the conclusion of the series,
He's talking to y'all, by the way.
so if you're currently watching the anime and keeping up with it, continue at your own risk. With that out of the way,
I'm like waiting 3 years for the next season to come out.
let's take a look at the ending of Oshi No Ko. So the ending of Oshi No Ko kind of comes out of nowhere. On Christmas, which is also the last day of Bikomachi's tour, we are greeted with a scene familiar to the first episode, except it is Ruby getting stabbed rather than Ai. It turns out this was all a ploy, and it was actually Akane wearing a knife-proof vest. And Saito, the manager, knew that this would happen. The assailant turns out to be one of Ai's old co-workers, or I guess I should say a fellow idol, Nino. With Ruby already performing at the venue, the group tries to get answers from Nino about who ordered her to kill Ruby. It turns out her boyfriend is the guy who killed Ai, and they were both mega fans of Ai, and they think no one should surpass her. Then we cut to the concert where Bikomachi is just doing their thing, being idols and stuff, and we finally get to see our main guy Aqua confront Hikaru Kamiki, the mastermind behind all the negative things going on in the series. Aqua attempts to get some answers, and it turns out Kamiki thought killing those who might surpass Ai would increase her significance, which is just an odd way of thinking. Just makes no sense to me. Aqua then proclaims he will kill Kamiki to protect Ruby, and sacrifices himself to protect his sister. The series then completely ends with Kana crying.
Funny how all this started because of misunderstanding. That will always have me thinking, man. All this took place because of misunderstanding. That's just crazy to me.
At his funeral, and Ruby saying I'm off as she leaves the house. So I'm sure you can see why this ending may just be a bit polarizing. It kind of comes out of nowhere and seems a bit rushed, but I wanted to do some research to see what the fellow fans thought. So I took to the best place for online discourse, Reddit, to determine the opinions of my fellow fans. It seems like the fans feel Aqua's final arc was just pointless, and there were many different ways that Kamiki could be dealt with that didn't end in Aqua's death. There are also many that feel the overall series was just ruined because the ending did not put an end to the cycle that was presented as the main talking point of the manga, and that talking point is the darkness of the entertainment
industry. Just in
Well, something like that would always persist. Like in the story, Aqua was just a cog in the machine. And he died through it. Easily replaceable, easily changeable, ain't nothing special.
edgy series with an edgy ending. Aqua's death also raised a bunch of red flags. Only a few panels were dedicated to the aftermath of his totally valiant death, but everything ended all happy and dandy. Those are just a few negative reviews, and I'm sure there are many more critiques out there, but let's take a look at the other end where people actually praise the ending. I genuinely don't think there is anyone out there who thought that the ending was flawless. However, I found this Reddit post that explains the good of the ending perfectly. So shout out to the author of this thread. Discussions about Kamiki as an obsessed fan unable to change his ways as a contrast to Aqua is an interesting point. Also bringing up the fact that this manga was never going to have a happy end given the subject matter, is a very good point, as I do think that people want a
When I really got into the show, the first episode, it like teach you to be non-attached to the character. Like, what the hell is this? Hold up with that. Off topic, but it teach you to be unattached to the characters. Like she showed up the most in the first episode, lovable personality. What happened? No, took her away. So something like that should just teach you not to be attached to all these characters. At least I wasn't.
happy end no matter what, but sometimes that's just impossible. There's also the point made where Aqua's sacrifice was emphasized by the dreams that he had for his future, where he wanted to spend time with friends and become a doctor eventually. But all that went out the door to protect Ruby. It seems like many don't agree with the poster in the comments of their post, but I think it's a great analysis of the ending. Flawed, but not as bad as everybody says it is. You have my respect by standing
Yeah.
by your own opinion, random Redditor. So now what everyone, and by everyone I mean maybe one or two people, has been waiting for, and that's my super objective and true opinion on the ending of Oshi No Ko. Well, I know it's groundbreaking stuff, but I think the Oshi No Ko ending was okay. Just fine. Not good and not bad either.
Completely agree.
I wasn't a fan of how it was rushed in the end, but if I remember
I agree again.
correctly, Akasaka began working on another series, so they wanted to finish off Oshi No Ko quickly since, I mean, it was getting to the point where it was too long and plot points were just getting dragged out.
Yeah. So what I think could happen is put this series on hiatus and come back. But I understand making stories myself. We just want to get done with this series and never look back on it. Like when you're writing stories, you don't want to like when you in a new story, you don't want to be thinking about yeah, you gotta go back and finish that story. And fans could be on your hip with it, so you may as well just finish it now. Because you've been writing the story for like 4 or 5 years, you would probably get tired of it too. So you can't blame the authors for the story being rushed. Because I understand having no ideas and stuff like that.
I do agree with the points of where I
Holy, this is a bad reaction compared to the first one. Like the first one, no jokes, you all. It got corrupted. I don't know how. It got corrupted.
think Aqua did not have to die, but I understand why Akasaka went that route. It was to show how much he would do to protect his star, which is the name of the show, which was now Ruby rather than I. Given the context of the series, it felt like there would not be a happy ending, where Aqua gets to see out his future because he lived most of his life wanting revenge. And if you know anything about revenge, it typically never ends well in fiction. It would have been nice to see Aqua successfully protect Ruby, deal with Kamiki, and have a great future where Kana Aqua shippers could have a field day, but
I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. Mm-mm. Sweet home Alabama for me.
Straight down Alabama road. Like, and they're like, nah. You all telling me build a series up from the start. Like, I refuse. Like, you all boys really build a series up from the start. Don't just random girl. Take it away from us? No, we can't be doing that. No.
Oh,
that's not what we got. The point about the cycle of lies and deception plot device never being wrapped up is a great point though. I mean, obsession is not exclusive to one villain, i.e. Kamiki, so it is extremely possible that there will be another Kamiki in the future that targets Ruby or another idol. But I think the story left that open-ended, as that's just how the entertainment industry is. It's never going to be a perfect utopia of an industry. So how did this ending impact Oshi No Ko's legacy? Well, I obviously believe that the ending for most fans ruined the overall series. It felt rushed and like the author just completely
not really for me, honestly. Like for the expectations we offer series once you fully read the series, you realize it fills with all the plot. Shoot, it fills with all the plot lines that began. And there's really nothing more you could run. Well, shoot, you come on to the series. It's like being a dead horse.
gave up and took the easy route to get to an ending. Though I may not completely agree with this take, it is valid. It was a flawed ending, and like I stated before, fans always want a perfect ending, and when that doesn't happen, the rest of the series is just not good anymore.
It's not a perfect series. That's literally what the series based off of.
Out of nowhere. I do think Oshi No Ko is still a great series that shows the
It is,
dark
it
side
is.
of an industry that most people are outsiders. And though it may be a bit edgy at times, that's just what fiction does. It overplays reality to be entertaining.
I mean, it is kind of edgy. Like to sit up with this serious and look at 95% anime. Look me straight in my eyes and say that while looking at 95% anime. Then we can start talking about it.
And keep the reader captivated. This ending has not seemed to have an effect on the anime, however, as the third season of the series is highly acclaimed, currently holding an 8.52 rating on my anime list, with over 200,000 ratings. That's pretty good, I must say.
Watching it only.
English, the English stuff come up, I have to read monkey language.
I have always viewed anime as a journey, and as long as a majority of that journey is
That wasn't racist, by the way. You just don't like noises, sounds, you may say. Because I can understand what they're saying. They are literally just making sounds.
entertaining and well done, then the ending could be wherever or whatever you want it to be. I know that may sound a bit silly, but creating a personal alternate ending is not an uncommon practice. Oshi no Ko may not have ended the way fans wanted, but in my opinion, that's okay. It is still a great and entertaining read that I think is worthwhile to at least give a try. And if it's not your thing, then that's okay. That's why we love anime. There is so much variety.
Shonen for days, but let's see what the comments say. Look at this before, guys. Making a fool of yourself. Honestly, what did you expect? Honestly, what did we expect? This was built up from the beginning of the show, from the literal first episode. I'm not saying it because they like incest. I'm just saying, if you build up something from the first episode, it's like Romeo and Juliet. Build up something from the first episode, and then we saw what happened after the doctor died. Awkward, I can't remember his real name. Went to breast, showing that he was still a light. I sound so funny saying that. So anything in me had to start the bit, yeah, but he was still a light in the eyes or whatever the hell. So it was expected she lived through him. Oh hell no, hell no. This is humiliation. Holy, holy, holy. That's why video up then. I'm not talking about this corny stuff anymore. Just like, subscribe, and thumbs up. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Nah, this is thumbs down, buddy. Mm-mm. What the hell is this? Explain me. Why did you like this comment? What did we reply with? I mean, it did. I wouldn't say it's out of nowhere because, again, it was well enough from the beginning of the show. She wanted to do this all her life. I thought, read the show, man. Read and watch the show and the manga. That's not that hard. Would say it was just kind of sudden, but it's expected. I hope on a big burst of emotion, especially for teenagers.